Wow. How's everybody doing? As you can see, I'm on two platforms. I'm on YouTube also, which is a better platform because I can't play music on Facebook because they say I'm I'm not doing the right thing. So I'm on two platforms here, and I'm just gonna I'm not gonna be having comments on for this one. Um, so I'm just gonna kind of sit here and I'm gonna put both you guys the same way. So one of the reasons why I have decided to stop doing this is, people don't pay attention. They're not paying attention to what's going on or what's going around or anything like that, and everybody, everybody's too damn poor to do anything. And I know that. Um, I've been doing this for 4 years now, or 5 years now, because it's 2019. I started in 2014, talking about the water, talking about, the land, talking about the poisoning of the air, talking about us as Native American people who are always downtrodden and, you know, um, we're always at the bottom of the barrel, and I got to say that. I think it's real true because, a lot of people don't even, like, how is it that I can go to a state? I went to Ohio. And first thing, some people in church, oh, you're a native? You're Indian? Oh, I thought we wiped all you guys out. You know how many times I've heard that now? Do you know how many times I've heard that we're wiped out? And that, oh, can't believe that your people are still here. Hearing that kind of thing really aggravates me. And the biggest thing about all of this is, people had a chance to stand up for the Indigenous Peoples March. Um, if I would have had a ride, I would have went out there, but of course I didn't. So it's it's pretty tough. I get real, I get real aggravated because people aren't paying attention to what's going on behind the scenes. And I put out a, I put out a post on. I answered one of my posts, and people were talking about, you know, I said I was going to go to big sponsored powwows, big oil sponsored powwows. If you guys don't know, most powwows are sponsored by Big Oil. Fort Berthold Res, where they hold forebears, that powwow is sponsored by oil because the Fort Berthold people actually dug in and they have their own oil derricks and everything. So, and they came to Standing Rock. I was there when they came and they apologized. They said, we're sorry, but we already made the mistake and there's nothing we can do about it because our people need money. And I have to say, that's one of the things that we do need as Native American people, because we can't fight this government. We can't fight the law. We can't fight anything because of the fact that we don't have money. We are always poor people. We're always going through this hard life. It's not an easy life, and I know that. I struggle all the time. I live month to month, and if it wouldn't have been for my friend Gwen Gigi Martin, who offered me to come over here and live, I would still be on the streets like my brother Sean Sutton. out in the cold drinking and drugging and doing all that stuff, and I feel bad for him, yes. But I set him up with my friends. He had a good 2 jobs, he had a car, had a good place to stay with my friend. But what did he do? He couldn't not drink. He could not live that way that he liked to live because he liked to be by himself. He likes to be out, with the people, which, I mean, I'm sorry to say my brother is that way. It took me a long time to change. And I'm not going to lie about that. It took me a long time to change to become the person I am today. Otherwise, I would still be selling drugs. I would still be disrespecting people, and I wouldn't give a shit. You know, I do give a shit. And yes, I do get on Christianity. And, people don't understand these black Hebrew Israelites that started everything in Washington, D.C. You don't see many people talking about them. And if everybody watched that video from the very beginning, the native people weren't the ones going, go back to Europe, go back to where you came from, and yelling all that crap, and you honkies and you crackers and all that. That wasn't the native people. That was the black Hebrew Israelites, which I'm going to put it out there. One of the people that is in that group is named John Camarino Vera III. He's on my Facebook. I respect him a lot. When I asked him to stop posting Bible quotes and sending me Bible stuff, he actually listened to me and he said, all right, friend, I will not do that. So he stopped doing it. He had respect. And that's what people don't have now. I just deleted like 16 people off my Facebook because everybody knows how I feel about Christianity. Everybody. That's his story for those people over there in that part of the world. That is not my people's story here. And I have to say that. It is not our story here in America. And the other thing is people don't understand that he was a Hebrew. He was a Jew. So he did that for them people over there in that part of the world. And it has morphed into something that the teachings, people don't follow. I mean, here, I'm sitting in Morton, Washington, okay? Small town. They got like 3 churches. Every Sunday, some of them churches are just packed. But the night before, all them people were in the bar. To me, that doesn't make sense. If you're going to be a God-fearing person and you believe in the Bible, and you believe in the Torah, you believe in the Quran, then follow the peace, love, and compassion that them books put out, which most people don't do. And they always say, no, you have to follow Jesus or you will go to hell. And that's that fear of God shit that was put into the Bible to do that to our people. I've been talking about Standing Rock, and I've had a few friends, and I got to say this, I've had a few friends that were on my Facebook, and they went onto my Messenger, and they said, dude, when are you going to stop talking about the same shit over and over? You never talk about nothing new. Because nobody's even heard the first thing that we've talked about. Nobody's even understood that, Standing Rock. Standing Rock was 3 years ago. 3 years ago, people. And yes, it's nice to remember Standing Rock, but guess what? Didn't stop the fucking pipeline. And I'm going to, cuss it or not, I'm going to say it. It didn't stop the pipeline, okay? It didn't stop it. The prayer did not work. Okay? It's time, not time for prayer, people. It's time to get off your ass and do something. Because action is needed, not prayer. Because I keep saying this over and over again. Did Sitting Bull and Crazy Horse and all them warriors sit there and pray that 7th Cavalry, we're going to pray that they don't kill us? Fuck no, they did. They went out and they fucking murdered every one of them fucking cocksuckers. And I'll say that. They went out and they murdered. They were real warriors. They were the last real warriors in this world. Because there is none now. There is none that are going to go stand up against the police and fight for the rights of the people. I have a friend, and when I heard her story about what happened to her and her husband, I was like, yes, racism at its finest. Racism. Here's another word that we're going to talk about so that people understand this. Racism is when one type of people try to govern everything and they try to spread their word as the only word, and they do it to every other country, and they go to make them people live their way. That's what racism is when one people can try to control another and put their ways into them and their beliefs. That's what racism is. We need to be better than that. We need to try to be better than that. I've always tried to be better than that, but it's hard for me because all the stuff that has happened to me. I mean, I've told everybody on here I was raped twice as a child, by once by a Catholic priest and once by a Lutheran priest. One was on Wheelock and Dale Street, Minnesota, and the other one was at the cathedral in St. Paul. So I carry the memories with me. You think everybody's like, those are, you should let that go. How can I let something like that go when a motherfucking priest was behind me saying, I'm doing this for the love of Jesus? What the fuck? So yes, I do have some major issues with that. And people say, oh, that was only one bad apple. Well, what about all the fucking bad apples that put our people in fucking boarding schools, took their children and separated them from the parents and put them in boarding schools? Does that sound familiar about what's happening today? About what is happening today? Today in this world, right now. The Mexican people are getting, their children are getting separated from them and put in internment camps, they call them. Otherwise, boarding schools. Um, you know, People aren't seeing the big picture. People aren't paying attention to this. And the reason why I feel that I have to stop doing this is because it upsets me, it angers me, and I don't want to be angry no more. I got hypertension already. I'm trying to get rid of that. I'm trying to just try to be myself. But with all this shit that is going on today, I can't. This is a cigarette, by the way. It's not a joint. So it's hard for me, and I've been doing this for 4 years or 5 years, and at first it was all great. Everybody was all proud, all proud because they heard about Standing Rock and everything, and they wanted to do this. Well, I've been trying to raise funds for a powwow, but it never happened. So I raised like $235, and I'm gonna take $200 of my own money, March, April, and May, my own money, and I'm gonna put it into there because this is the way we look at things. I'm gonna go do this for my grandpa and for the veterans. And because my grandpa was an Anishinaabe, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna say the first prayer, and I'm gonna do it in our language, my grandpa's language. But I'm also gonna ask the people from here, the tribes from here, the Puyallup, the Swinomish, the Snohomish, and people, I'm gonna ask them because this is their territory. And I have to respect, we should all respect wherever we go, them people's territory. So when you go to do something, like there's some people that, how come you haven't put up a sweat yet? Because this is not my country. This is the Puyallups and the Snohomish, the Swinomish, and all these other tribes, the Yakima. This is their area. This is not mine. I can't just put up a sweat lodge here and start doing things. It doesn't work that way. I have to go to an elder and ask them if it's okay. I've been looking for a sweat, but nearest one's like 100 something miles from me. There's a guy here that I heard about. His name's Roy Wilson. He's the chief of the Cowlitz. They said he has a sweat lodge a few miles from here in Randall, but I talked to somebody and they said he's old and he's not doing very well. So that kind of shoots that out of the window. I just did my final releasing of the spirit ceremony last weekend, and it was hard because I did so many funerals, so many. I buried so many people, and it wore on me. It broke my spirit. I'm not gonna lie about that. It broke my spirit to bury people, to to hear about people dying. You know, it's uh, it's pretty rough. All the people that taught me, pretty much most of them are gone. Um, I didn't think I would be in this position to say that. Because when you look at our elders, some of them, he's gonna live way longer than me. You know, but then you start seeing the reality of of death, of finality, of people who have put so much into this world, and then they have to leave it, and they leave it without people going to them and asking them for their knowledge, um, or going to them and asking them, about the knowledge that they have, because our way of life will die if people don't start learning, if our children don't start learning. And that's what Christianity has done to our people. Is some of our elders now are Christians and are still ashamed to be Indians, still ashamed to be Native, which is really sad to see. Um, so that tears in my heart, that some of our elders don't even know none of the ceremonies because they were turned into Christians. So everybody that goes this way and promotes this is killing our people. Is killing our people. Because our people are going to Christianity and learning that way, and then they're not learning our language, they're not learning our ceremonies, they're not learning how to talk in the language, they're not learning any of it. They're all about Jesus. That's what assimilation by dissemination, assimilation that comes through a book that they beat us with, beat our ancestors with over the head, cut their hair. I'm going to point something out to you because one of my friends pointed this out to me, which I, I, I never thought about it before. I've seen many portraits of Jesus Christ, and I've looked at the Turin Shroud. I wanted to check that out. I did some research on it. Now, back in the 60s, a lot of people wore long hair. A lot of our, younger generation, they wore long hair. And the white Christian people, you're hippies, you're no good. But I want to remind everybody of something. Jesus Christ never cut his hair. Jesus Christ never cut his face. Jesus Christ was a Hebrew. I studied all this. Don't think I don't know about it. I do. I know some about it. But the thing about Jesus is he had long hair. He had a long beard. He didn't cut his hair. He didn't cut his beard. So all these Christian people are going around, you fucking hippies and all this shit. But they don't think about who he really was, what he really was, how he wore his hair long, how he never cut his beard. He never cut his hair. He wore that shit long, just like the native people do. Our native people always wore long hair. The only reason my hair is short is because I honored one of my teachers. I honored him because he passed away last month and I wasn't able to be there and I was devastated. Still am. To find out losing that man. He taught me a lot. I wouldn't have did the funerals that I did if it wasn't for him. You know, because I sat at funerals with him, and he talked to me and talked to me. And like I said, there's one time I just sat and I asked him, like, "She, why are you telling me all this? I'm nobody." I said, "You are somebody, and you're sitting here with me, and you're the only one listening." Took me a long time to really figure that out. Excuse me. But one of the things one of my Lexies told me, sometimes, sometimes somebody needs to be slapped. Sometimes somebody needs to wake up, needs something to wake them up. I don't know what's going to wake up this world. I don't know what's going to bring people together. I've tried so hard, and I put so much time and so much effort into research and doing all this stuff that for the people that I've forgotten about myself. I have. I've forgotten about myself. That's why, I talked about, what happened with me. I'll just kind of give you a rundown because I know some people haven't heard. I just talked to my grandma, and she said, "No, well, how's everything going? What happened with the doctors?" Well, I'm going to put this out there so that people know also. Um, I had 5 polyps removed from my colon. One was almost blocking my colon. It was so big. They said if I'd let it go any longer, I'd have got cancer. And I went and seen one back surgeon already, and he just looked at me and he said, "I can't touch you." I was like, "Why? Well, what's the matter?" He goes, "You got serious scoliosis." And then he showed me the picture, and I was like, "Oh, no wonder." He goes, "I don't know how you do it without painkillers. How do you do it?" He said. And I told him straight out, and I said, "Well, doc," I said, "since I came over here, I started smoking marijuana, but I smoke really high grade marijuana where I do it 3 times a day, just like medicine. Sometimes at night I'll make a tea because a tea actually is better for you. And as Native Americans, we all know that making a tea is much better for you. So that's what I've been doing." And I told him, and he said, "Does it help?" And I said, "Yes and no, because that's the truth. Yes, it does help. Like when I wake up in the morning, I can barely move. I have a real hard time. Sometimes I have to crawl to the bathroom and try to use the sink to kind of get myself up. It takes me a while to get moving. Um, but then I go outside and I'll smoke, and I'll feel better for a little while. You know, I won't have as much pain. And I've learned to block my pain out with my mind, but that's not good either because it made my blood pressure rise. So February 15th, I'm going to see a surgeon, and like I said, this is a big decision I have to make. Um, Also, my stomach, I did a stomach emptying test, which is where you go in, you have no food, no water. You go in and they give you 4 ounces of like eggs, 2 pieces of toast, and 2 jellies. And then you eat it. And they take a picture of you right away. And then they wait for an hour. And you come back in, they take another picture. And they do that for 4 hours, 5 hours. And they take a picture every time so that you can find out, what's going on. Well, my stomach doesn't work right. Great. So I have a thing where, like, after an hour, most people, 90% of their food is digested. Only like 70% of my food was digested. And then it slowed down on me. Most people would be at, you know, uh, like 50% digested after 2 hours. Well, I was still at 70%. So my stomach's not working right. So I have to eat small meals, 6, 7 small meals throughout the day. I can't eat like I normally do anymore. So I've been taking care of myself now. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons that I have to go find somewhere to sweat. I have to go find somewhere to release some things that are going on with me, and I haven't been able to do that. I haven't been to a sweat in over a year now. And I used to, you all know, I used to do it all the time. I used to always go pray. I still pray. I still go out and I smoke my pipe and pray every day. Put out tobacco, put out a little food every 4 days and give thanks. And like today, I gave thanks for my life. I gave thanks for the people's life. I give thanks for Mother Earth and Grandfather Sky. I give thanks to all these things to make sure that, we do give thanks for these things. We give thanks for our lives. And, that's kind of where I'm at right now. And I've been doing this. It's been long, and I think it's time for me, for myself, to start doing the spiritual things that I need to do for myself, and quit worrying about all these things that I've been doing for the people, and trying to spread the word, and trying to get people to listen, and people to talk with each other, and come together. But I don't see it happening. I see there's too much. You got 8 billion people with 8 billion different personalities, and 8 8 billion different spiritual ways, 8 billion different religions, however people see it, you know, but we can't come together. I mean, you look at what happened in Washington D.C. How many natives were actually there for that march? 2,000? Maybe, maybe. I got to say, I was proud of Chase Iron Eyes. I'm proud of Dallas Goldtooth, Tom Goldtooth. I'm proud of Winona LaDuke, and Honor the Earth, and Tara Huska. Those are people that are standing up. Those are people that are doing whatever they have to do. And it doesn't matter. They find the funds. They have big people that back them. And them are the people that I think you guys need to search out. Them are the people I think that need to do more of this, more live feeds, and talk to the people. You know, um, it's hard. Um, I don't know. I guess you could say I'm burnt out. I burnt myself out doing this, and I need to have some peace and joy and relaxation in my life too. And I gotta go out and release all these prayers that I've been holding for so long. So I'm trying to hold my surgery off. I go the 15th to see the surgeon and talk to him in Seattle again, and then I'm going to decide. If I do it, I'll do it in September, October. Not sure right now. I'm still thinking about it, and it's taking a lot of prayer with me, talking to the Creator and talking to the plants and the trees here, and asking them, what, can I do this or should I do this? Because this is major. I'll be laid up for a year and a half, um, be in traction for almost a year, because they're gonna fuse my lower lumbar and put two steel rods and 12 screws in. Now comes to water protectors. Kind of shoot this out there too. Water protectors. All you water protectors out there. There's many of you. It's time to gather everybody you can by your sides. It's time to gather everybody, because Line 3 and KXL are not going away. But unless people stand up and really, really talk about doing something, they're going to go through. Just like the Stand, just like DAPL, just like Atlantic Sunrise, which exploded a couple weeks ago. you know. And if you don't understand the Yellow Vest movement is really powerful. Yellow Vest movement is about people like me. Okay, people like me who don't have the money to pay rent because the rent's too high. Um, don't Everything's too expensive. The food, the gas prices, the rent. That's what the Yellow Vest movement is about. It's about, you know, for people trying to live. That's all it's about. It's about poor people trying to live. And that's what this whole thing's about. That's what the Yellow Vest movement is about, is because look at me. I live with two other women that invited me here to stay with them. Otherwise, I'd be living on the streets because I don't make enough money to have my own place because everything's out of my reach. The, the, the money situation is greed. It's nobody has any heart or compassion when it comes to money. I guess that's the best way to put it. Nobody has heart and compassion when it comes to money, especially this government, especially electric companies, especially utility companies. You know, they're saying PG&E might have started that fire down in California because one of their transformers exploded. Whoa! You know, that's a pretty serious issue, and I don't see a lot of people talking about that. Talking about those hundreds of thousands that are homeless in California. My friend I talked to, Sherry McEwen, down there in Sacramento, she said there's people in tents all over the place down there because they don't have homes now. They can't go back because they've had mudslides. So they're suffering too. This whole world is suffering, and there's so many issues. I don't think we can all choose one. I think that's the problem, is there's too much stuff going on, and we can't all focus on one thing. And that's what I think we need to do. We need to all focus on one thing and then keep move from the one thing to the next. You know, that's what we need to do. I don't know. I don't have the answers. I don't know the answers. I don't know, what's on everybody's mind and what they want to try to accomplish. My accomplishment, my the thing that I was trying to accomplish was to bring 1 million people together to go to KXL, 1 million people to go to Line 3, and just and then everybody just shut down the country. Why not? Just shut down the country. Don't go buy food. Don't go buy gas. Everybody just stay home for like 2 weeks, like the government workers did. If they get laid off again, I think everybody should do that. That's my thoughts, though. I don't know how everybody else feels. That's how I feel, though. I think everybody should just take time out and say hell with it. We ain't gonna go into work today. We ain't gonna send our kids to school. We're just gonna go out and have fun and stay home. Do you know what that would do if them 1% didn't have that money, weren't getting that money? Because I'm going to tell you something. Everybody talks about, especially President Trump, about how great this economy is. This economy is not great. There's people like me and my roommates who are struggling to live. We go to food shelves so we can have enough food for the month. Even though we get food stamps, it's not enough. I have to take most of my money, and put it in for gas and other things for the vehicle to go to my appointments because my appointments ain't close by. So it's a struggle for all of us. I mean, now here's a good point that I'm going to make. Pine Ridge Reservation, the poorest reservation in the United States of America. 90, what was it, 98.7% unemployment rate. I know a guy there that lives on $450 a month. How the hell are you supposed to live on that and pay your cable and your electric and your water and get food with that kind of money? You can't. It's the greed. That's the greed. Back in the day, I'm going to kind of reminisce here and go back so that people can kind of understand what I'm saying. We as Native people, we lived off the land. We didn't charge people to stay on the land. We didn't charge for electricity. We didn't charge for water. We didn't, you know, you weren't charged for them things. It was free. It was free. But then you build this great infrastructure in this country And it's all about the almighty frickin' dollar. That's all it's about. It's very sad. Very sad. I've been, you know, kind of contemplating on what do the people need? What do the people want? Because the people need something and the people want something. And those are two different things. It's want and need. We can want all we want and we can need all we want. But it's getting there. That's the problem. So I had a friend, I had my cousin call me last night. I haven't talked to him for a while. And he told me that, he said, Damien, man, he goes, man, you're really missed around here. I said, why do you say that, bro? He said, because I don't know who's doing the funerals now. He said, man, you did a lot. Do you realize that? I said, yeah, I kind of do. I said, but I'm kind of glad that I'm not doing that no more because, man, I'm burnt out. I'm really burnt out. And he said, wow, okay. And that's a tough thing. I people say, why do you want to quit? And the reason I have to is because it's for me. It's for myself, for my health. My health is the biggest part. We need people from around the world to stand up, though. And I would ask that, if you're not friends with Winona LaDuke, or you're not friends with Tara Huska, or you're not friends with any of the big name people that are around, that are doing things, you should. Because them are the people that can tell you things that I can't. Them are the people that are fighting, doing their best to make sure that these pipelines don't go in. Harold Fraser from Cheyenne, River Sioux, the tribal president over there. I have so much respect for him because them 4 words, we'll be waiting. If I get a chance this summer, KXL's going through, they're putting up the man camps. I might try to make a journey over there just to go pray one day, you pray with them and hopefully that pipeline doesn't go through. I guess I'm just frustrated over everything. I'm frustrated over seeing Indigenous Peoples March. France, 11 weekends in a row, they've been doing it. I love the French, man. Them people come together. In Venezuela, too. The France and Venezuelan people, man, they're doing it. They're marching every day. They're doing it. France is doing it every weekend. They're just doing it every weekend. They don't care. But Venezuela, they're doing it every day. They're standing up to Maduro. And if you haven't paid attention to this part either, I want everybody to understand this. Russia, China, and Cuba all told the United States, hands off Venezuela. You don't think there's going to be a war? Trump's leading us there. I can see it. I can feel it. You can feel the tension in the air. It's so thick. You can see all these things that are happening. What are we going to do as a people? I'm going to take you guys out here for a minute so you guys can kind of look around here. This is what I fight for. It's just beauty. Look at all the mountains over here. This is what things I do, the things I fight for. Look at that cedar tree. Yeah, beautiful. All the cedars around here. And a lot of people don't realize that this is good medicine. This right here, some of the best medicine in the world. Can do a lot for a lot of people. A lot of people don't pay attention. I do. I still look for things and I'm still learning. Still learning plants, learning about plantain, learning about other things. So just wanted to say, I thank you guys all for support. That, ooh, shoot. Somebody's shooting a gun. So, I just hope that, you all someday come together and find that right time. I'm going to drive home here while you guys are on. But I'm just going to say, that I hope that everybody comes together sooner or later. Everybody becomes human with each other because we're all human beings. And we just need to realize that we're all human beings and that we all need love and compassion. And sometimes, one of the things I want to talk about is kind of freaky about spirituality when I talk about that stuff, because I was sitting on the porch before I did my live feed yesterday, and this young boy came around, and he looked pretty, looked like a good kid and stuff, but he stopped and he asked me for a cigarette, and I said, I'm sorry, man, I don't do that to kids. I said, how old are you? You're in high school? And he said, yeah, but I'm not in school. And I said, why not? He said, because they said that I was going to get a gun and shoot up the school, and they were scared. And I asked him, well, why is that? And he said, well, my brother died in an accident, and I feel it was my fault. I didn't know this kid from Adam, but I told him straight up, I said, hey, your brother was trying to live his life and have fun and just enjoy life. Why don't you go do that for him? Why don't you go live your life for him and do all the things that you think he would do to enjoy life? I don't know where them. I can honestly say that I did not speak them words. The Creator spoke them words through me, because I'm not smart enough to do them type of things. I'm just a human, so I know He talked through me to talk to that child. I'm very I'm very scared for that kid. I hope sometime I see him again and he walks by and I'm able to talk to him, because that's what we need to do. We see somebody hurting like that, pull him over to the side, help him out, talk to him. A smile goes a long ways. A word goes a long ways. A lot of people have been posting that too, and I believe that too. A word and all that goes a long ways. So we have to remember that our children, our children come first before anything. Our children are the ones that we have to protect and, and enrich them and help them grow and help them to learn things. You know, But I've said enough, and I just want to thank all you guys for your support. I'm just gonna be me and a few friends on the ferry on May 18th, driving back and forth to Lopez Island, doing the ceremony, and I'll just sing myself, because the world's too poor to be donating to me for a powwow. So I'll just do something real small. I'm gonna donate $200 of my own money, March, April, and May, so I can buy some stuff for the elders that are gonna come and help with the ceremony. But like I said, a lot of people have asked me not to stop doing this, but I have to stop. I gotta take care of myself, and I gotta live my life, and I gotta be able to talk to the Creator and let go of some things that are really bothering me, and the only way I can do that is in ceremony. I gotta find the sweat somewhere to do that. But I thank you guys all for watching Bedwolf News. Thank you guys for supporting me, and it's been a good ride. It's been a fun ride, but it's time now to end it. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for your support. I love you all, and I hope you all come together someday. I hope you all have good lives, and you'll see me in a great while. I might post something on Facebook, but otherwise, y'all have a good one. Love you all. Have a good one.